May 7th, 2026 issue of the River Rock Times on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. And green thumbs are in abundance at McKinley High School. It's a literal sign of spring. Each year, around the same time as the Cherry Blossom Festival at the Buffalo History Museum, the white-painted announcement is trotted out to the front of McKinley High School, indicating the annual plant sale is underway. It's a spring tradition dating back to the 1970s, says Jeffrey Hammond, Public Information Officer for Buffalo Public Schools. The greenhouse at McKinley High School is the only large-scale greenhouse in Buffalo Public Schools. There's also a smaller 10 by 10 greenhouse at South Park, which supports a smaller horticultural program. The McKinley Greenhouse is the second largest educational greenhouse in New York State, behind only Cornell University, and measures an astonishing 3,750 square feet, in addition to the koi pond in the courtyard. Among the varieties of plants available during the sale include 1-gallon pots, perennials, strawberry plants, hanging flower and fern baskets, flats of annuals, hanging houseplants, and white pine trees, ranging in price from $1 to $30. The program is managed, operated, and maintained by more than 160 students in grades 10 through 12 under the supervision of a New York State Education Department certified plant science teacher, in addition to industry professionals. Students must enroll in the 3-year program starting in 10th grade in order to successfully complete the New York State Education Department approved career and technical education program. Like all CTE programs, the curriculum is reviewed, evaluated, and reapproved every 5 years by the state. The plant sale runs through this weekend in honor of Mother's Day, but plants will still be available for several weeks to help Buffalo residents and garden enthusiasts spruce up their yards and flower beds for spring. Proceeds are reinvested directly into the program and also support student scholarships, Hammond says. Students also participate in smaller sales tied to other holidays throughout the year, like fall, winter, and Valentine's Day, but the Mother's Day sale is the largest. The students are learning more than just good horticultural practices, he adds. The sale serves as an instructional capstone. Students receive hands-on experience in marketing, sales, customer service, and basic business management, helping prepare them for the real-world employment. The sale is open to the public from 8:30 until 3, Monday through Friday. And Golenbeck says mayor's budget proposal has 25% increase on garbage fees, too. During Monday evening's Believe in Black Rock meeting, the North District Council member Joe Golenbeck let those in attendance in on a little secret. The proposed budget for the city of Buffalo not only includes a proposed 25% increase in the tax rate, but a 25% increase in garbage fees as well. The rate would apply to all 3 tiers of blue garbage totes, he confirmed, but it would not apply to the green recycling totes. If a person is currently paying $200 for their 35-gallon garbage tote, the proposed rate would be $250. A $250 bill for a 65-gallon tote would go up to $312.50, and a current $300 bill for a 95-gallon tote will go up to $375 when the new budget goes into effect on July 1st. Golenbeck said he didn't believe any other fees would be facing similar proposed increases, but probably. Water and sewer fees have gone up. One of the things, and I understand this, the constituents are paying higher for cable, electricity, and gas. They can't yell at Mr. Gas Man or Mr. Cable Man, but they can see me in the grocery store. They can see me in the neighborhood, and they should tell me they're upset. I need that. I'm the one they're going to tell, and I'm the one they're going to let know that they're not happy with the increased fees they're paying as a result of the proposed budget, which is still under debate for another 3.5 weeks, he said. Golenbeck anticipates people opting for a small trash tote rather than paying the increased fee. He reiterated that he has voiced his concerns with the proposed 25% tax increase included in the budget as well, saying that it was originally floated as a gradual increase over the next few years instead of the immediate hike all at once. As a result of the proposed increase, plus the addition of 2 new deputy mayor positions at higher salaries and the hiring of a new police commissioner, also at a higher wage than the previous commissioner, Golenbeck said he's going through the budget and trying to find areas in which savings can be made. He was also one of a handful of council members to vote against the new police commissioner who was still approved for the position last week. I tried to explain to them when you're dealing with a user fee, it's like you're dealing with someone who is passionate about their faith and you say, I don't believe in God, he said, suggesting a response of shock, disbelief, and anger. Golenbeck said he tries to warn the mayor, Sean Ryan, and other administration officials that people will be unhappy when word gets out about the garbage fee increase on top of the tax increase proposal. He did give Mayor Ryan credit for hosting a series of workshops and informational sessions throughout Buffalo to make sure that groups who are eligible for tax breaks are aware of them, including veterans and senior citizens. That's something the mayor is, to his credit, working on programs. We do them on a regular basis through the Northwest Community Center in North Buffalo. The problem is, of course, it's the same people attending the workshops, suggesting that not all who are eligible for the programs are taking advantage of them. There's a meeting on the school tax relief, STAR program, and other tax credit and rebate initiatives scheduled for Friday, May 15th at the Polish Cadets, 927 Grant Street, starting at 5:30 p.m. Golenbeck said he and other members of the council continued to go over their budget books line by line, looking for ways to reduce the proposed tax increase, saying that every $1.9 million in savings they can find would result in a 1% reduction in the tax increase. He also confirmed that the mayor has rescinded an amendment in the budget proposal that would have allowed any new funding sources or contracts to be signed between the time this year's budget is finalized and the next one is introduced without consulting the Common Council. In addition to Golenbeck, attendees at the meeting heard from Adam Bojack, a candidate running for the New York State Assembly to represent the 149th District. Another candidate, Karen Hoke, addressed the group during April's meeting. The Black Rock Riverside Alliance is said to be working on hosting a debate among the candidates for that seat before the June primary. And in Buffalo Briefs, City County to partner on pothole patrol. Mayor Sean Ryan announced on April 27th the beginning of a new partnership between the City of Buffalo and Erie County to expand pothole repair efforts, using hot patching to provide what they say is a more durable, longer-lasting method of fixing roadways than the cold patching traditionally done by the city. Joint city and county crews will deploy hot asphalt to repair potholes across Buffalo, with plans to operate 1 to 2 days per week while the city builds capacity to complete hot patching by itself. The City of Buffalo will supply the materials for the repairs. During this partnership, the mayor's office says hot patching will be reserved for potholes with larger surface areas or those requiring more durable repairs, while smaller or temporary fixes may still be addressed with traditional cold patching methods. And Scanlon comments on the comptroller's appeal. Buffalo Common Council South District Council member Christopher P. Scanlon has released the following statement on City of Buffalo Comptroller Barbara Miller Williams' recently announced intention to appeal the latest decision on the suit over her refusal to issue bonds to fund projects included in the 2025 and 2026 capital budgets. He stated yesterday, Comptroller Barbara Miller Williams announced that she intends to once again appeal a court's decision requiring her to perform her charter-mandated responsibilities. The comptroller, despite her claims that she is looking out for the financial well-being of the city and its residents, is extending a legal battle which has already cost the residents of our city hundreds of thousands of dollars. In addition, her dereliction of her duties, has and will continue to cost Buffalonian tens of millions of dollars due to delays in large-scale infrastructure projects. The comptroller's failure to act is nothing short of negligence at this point. The residents of Buffalo deserve better. And Hill to receive Woman of Distinction Award. New York State Assemblyman Bill Conrad announced May 1st the finalists for the 140th District's 2026 Woman of Distinction Award, for which Conrad sought nominations through Women's History Month, observed annually in March. The Twin Cities, town of Tonawanda, village of Kenmore, and North Buffalo are home to so many accomplished, awe-inspiring women, Conrad said. It is my honor to receive our community's nominations and to help share the winners' contributions with this Assembly District and my colleagues in Albany. This year, the chosen honoree is Julie Hill, a youth mental health advocate. She is a 10-year veteran of Mental Health Advocates of Western New York, a nonprofit organization of specialists who provide fellowship programs, free legal help with civil matters, and court-appointed advocates, family and work support, early intervention and prevention services for youngsters, treatment referrals, and more. Hill serves as a youth peer advocate, YPA, using her lived experience with mental health challenges to help children and young adults aged 9 to 26. She is known for an amazing ability to connect with young people, as well as generously offering her leadership and mentorship for the benefit of the YPA program. She was nominated by Nicole Shields, Mental Health Advocates of Western New York's Director of Peer Support. Julie shows high passion, integrity, grit, and determination in her work, Shields wrote. The work she does changes lives. It gives hope and ensures the youth know that they are not alone in their struggles. A graduate of Kenmore West High School, Hill lives in North Buffalo. Conrad will personally present the award to her this summer. And walking tours of the River Line are announced. Friends of the River Line, the organization advocating for development of the former DL&W corridor owned by the Niagara Frontier Transportation Authority, will lead walking tours to share the vision for the proposed nature trail and greenway to the general public. The tours, which are free, will be led by Jeff Kebsack, the executive director of Friends of the River Line. Tours of the Dell, the section of the River Line in the old First Ward, will begin at 5:30 p.m. and start at the corner of Louisiana Street and Miami Street. The tours are scheduled for the second Thursdays in May through October, so those dates are May 14th, June 11th, July 9th, August 13th, September 10th, and October 8th. Tours of the Basswoods, the section of the River Line in the valley, will begin at 5:30 p.m. and start at the Red Jacket Riverfront Natural Habitat Park at the foot of Smith Street. These tours are scheduled for the first Wednesdays in May through October, those dates being May 6th, June 3rd, July 1st, August 5th, September 2nd, and October 7th. Pre-registration is required for the tours and is available at theriverline.org. You are listening to a reading of articles and features from the River Rock Times on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. And bird migration is focus of the Migratory May presentation. Lights Out, the Need for Dark Skies. It's a lecture by Jay Burney, kicked off Migratory May in North District Burney, a founder of Birds on Niagara, and who is involved in numerous conservation groups. He spoke May 5th at the Black Rock Harbor Center, 52 Amherst Street. Burney said May 3rd to 5th is a prime migratory time of the Niagara region. 3.5 million birds flew over the area last night, he said, as a super migration would see 1.5 million to 3.5 million birds on the wing. As the Great Lakes holds 20% of all the fresh water in the world, Burney said the Niagara River Basin is globally recognized and the first open water for migration from the north. He noted areas of concern, including birds losing habitat to intense development over the watershed area, natural occurrences such as fog, the disappearance of food supplies, and birds impacted by man-made light sources. Burney noted that unnatural light started in Buffalo in 1901 at the Pan Am Exposition. Currently, he says, there's a group in Canada that lays out all the birds killed by night lights and flying into buildings. The number is disturbingly large. New York State, he said, has a policy that all state buildings, parks, etc. must have lights out from 11 p.m. to dawn, which does help. Burney spoke of the importance of educating children and that efforts like Lights Out at Night is a start. He also mentioned Edward Wilson, a biologist who wrote Half Earth, promoting the plan 30 by 30, 30% of land and water protected as wild by 2030. Migratory May events continue with presentations at the Black Rock Harbor Center at 6:30 p.m. BRR Alliance Executive Director Ann McCooey will share helpful tips and ways to create bird-friendly environments in neighborhoods and backyards on Tuesday, May 12th. New York State DEC wildlife biologist Connie Adams will wrap up the series on Tuesday, May 19th with a presentation on the birds that help make the Niagara River a designated important bird and biodiversity area and a prime area for bird watching and ecotourism. And Buffalo Creative Workshop aims to bring artists of all genres together on the second floor of the massive brick building where mechanics and specialized tradesmen used to assemble and design cars that were works of art on four wheels. Tom Stalinsky is creating a world where designers, artists, actors, writers, poets, card game enthusiasts, and performers of all kinds can gather together to make the world a little more beautiful. From its grand opening last June, Buffalo Creative Workshop at 255 Great Arrow Avenue, Suite 205, is a massive blank canvas. On a recent visit, blue sequined curtains descended from metal tubes to establish a performance space, while in a distant corner an engraving and embossing machine inscribed a message on a timber, a leftover project from a school visit earlier that morning. Cabinets are stuffed to bursting with art supplies, markers, crayons, paints, paper of all grades, and one wall shows the leftover writing advice from a workshop given by a professor from SUNY Fredonia on how stories have shapes and how to determine which one is the best for the story at hand. It's taken a lot of time to develop. Making sure people know we exist is the hardest thing, but you can say that for everybody who opens a business, Stalinsky said. Competing for attention in the social media age is terrible, and I can't explain this place in 2 seconds. He does, however, have the equivalent of an elevator pitch to explain the vision behind Buffalo Creative Workshop, the offshoot of his original creative enterprise, the local publisher Band of Bards, which specialized in low-tech zine formats, magazine formats, and locally written and produced comic books. We're a group of storytellers. It was all about bringing more authentic representation from different groups into comics. There's a lot of different segments of the population that don't get very accurate representation in the media, he says. This is just really about creating an artistic community that welcomes everybody. Buffalo is a very cliquey town. We've got lots of great resources for specific disciplines, but not too many that kind of congregate. That's what we're trying to do here. Set up a creative workshop where people of any discipline, as long as it doesn't involve open flame, can come here and work. There's room for flaming swords, he laughs, but there's a lot of fabric and flammable material, and it's best not to do anything that might damage the building or their supplies or cause headaches for the building insurance. There's a space for everyone. Buffalo Creative Workshop also works with local schools for creative projects that involve newer technologies, including 3D printing and a special machine that can engrave and emboss designs onto things ranging from hockey pucks to those trendy insulated timbers. There's a regular monthly Kids Day to help give parents a break from their tables and floors being covered in paint and glue, in addition to card game tournaments like the monthly Yu-Gi-Oh! Games Stalinsky hosts, plus Saturday Academy in partnership with some Buffalo schools. That's part of why the workshop is a sober space without any alcohol allowed in the room, to make it more friendly to both children and people who are looking for a place to be creative without the influence or pressure of alcohol or other substances. Anyone can drop into the Buffalo Creative Workspace to work on a project, either alone or in a group, for a small fee. It's a pay what you can model with access to professional-grade art supplies and technology. Memberships are available with different benefits provided at each of the 3 tiers, including unlimited co-working time, access to snacks and drinks, discounts in the retail shop featuring local artists and authors. People can come in here, do a pay-what-you-can drop-in, and try out a brand new medium rather than going to the art store and shelling out $75 to $100 for a set of pastels only to find out they really don't like it, Stilinski says. People who buy memberships at the $75 and up level can also access special wholesale pricing deals for any art supplies that they've tried out and want to buy for their home use. You can save yourself a lot of money coming here. If you don't like what you try, cool. Or if you like what you try, cool. I can order it and sell it to you. He also encourages people to check out monthly calendar to see what classes are coming up. A quick glance at May's calendar shows a series of different Workshop Wednesday offerings, ranging from crafts on May 13th and comics on May 20th to a writing workshop on May 27th. There are no restrictions on the genre or kind of craft or story participants want to work on. These workshop nights are meant to bring people together who have a common interest, giving them a chance to work in a friendly and collaborative setting, maybe even picking up some tips and tricks or new inspiration from someone else with a similar project. The 4th Thursday of each month is an open mic night to allow people to try out their performance pieces, from singing to poetry to monologues. There's even a monthly drag show from Buffalo's drag royalty in conjunction with Rookie Nights out of the Hot Mama's Canteen on Military Road. He's also starting a watercolor painting class in May, and is open to suggestions on other kinds of instructional events to host. A talented artist himself, if there's a kind of art someone wants to know more about and Stilinski isn't well versed, odds are good he knows someone who is. Trying to get the word out to help bring creative people together in a large space is challenging. Stilinski is using Buffalo Creative Workshop Instagram account to build community and draw more attention to the offerings at the space. But he's also launched a GoFundMe, not just to help cover his rent expenses, but to support memberships for people who might not be able to afford them. This year we decided to do one that would raise money to pay for 20 full-year master level memberships. That's the top tier membership going for $125. If you're looking to support people coming in, what it does is allows us to donate that year-long membership to a local artist. We actually got our first person who put their name on the list come in the other day to check out the place, an artist who makes his own rugs and will be setting up in the textiles corner of the workspace a few days a week and working on his projects. The GoFundMe has a goal of raising $25,000, with every 5% of that goal supporting another year-long membership. Membership also comes with 4 free hours each month to host an event or to use the space privately for a party, art showing, or other events. I also make them their own custom smock, Stilinski said. There's a lot of benefit to it that's designed to help drive down the costs of making art. Financial barriers keep so many people from doing something or starting something, and that's terrible. The money pledged through the GoFundMe also does help Stilinski keep his operation alive, something he's been funding himself for the past year. There's so many great small businesses that are awesome, but they go out of business because they just didn't have enough time to turn a corner and become financially stable, he says. Through the GoFundMe and a stronger presence on social media, he's hoping to give other artists and himself a little more runway for the entrepreneurial adventures to take flight. For more information on Buffalo Creative Workshop, visit www.buffalocreativeworkshop.com. The county clerk is concerned over property tax hike. Erie County Clerk Mickey Kearns, a former Buffalo councilman, told WBEN listeners he's concerned about the impact of a Buffalo property tax hike on county property tax payments, especially by residents who are behind on payments. Kearns said it's nearly $10 million and Erie County does not have a payment plan. So if you get behind on your taxes, you do not get a payment plan until you go into foreclosure. And once you go into foreclosure, for many people, that's going to be difficult. When you get behind, you're paying the 18% interest rate. What concerns me is that you have a 25% increase. and I've met with some of the Buffalo Common Council members and did express this to them, that it's very concerning. That number is growing exponentially, but 18% when you're behind on your taxes. Now with that 25% city property tax increase, we would be facing a catastrophic foreclosure on many people, especially in our African American communities, many of our Hispanic communities, and really any community where they can lose generational wealth. And finally, a couple of events. Thursday, May 14th, Design and Symbolism, the Beauty of Forest Lawn. Julie Snyder, CEO, will provide overview of 175 years of history at Forest Lawn and insight on its iconic monuments, 6 p.m. at the Black Rock Historical Society Museum, 436 Amherst Street. And on Wednesday, May 20th, Rediscover Riverside meeting at 6 p.m., St. Mark's All Saints on Ontario Street, 6 p.m. Thursday, May 21st, introduction to flint knapping and chipped stone technology and as experimental archaeology. Dr. Doug Perrell, Director, SUNY AB Archaeological Survey, 6 p.m., Black Rock Historical Society Museum, 436 Amherst Street. And then finally on Thursday, May 28th, Arab and Middle East calligraphy and art shaping communities in New York. Nada Ode, founder and executive director of Arabesque, 6 p.m., Black Rock Historical Society Museum, 436 Amherst Street. So you've been listening to a reading of articles and features from the Black Rock Times, May 7th issue. River Rock Times, May 7th issue. We read from the River Rock Times on Tuesdays at 8:30 a.m. Your reader is Benny Lane. Thank you for listening.
Good morning. Welcome to another broadcast day in the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service, a private not-for-profit organization. Radio Reading Volunteers broadcast daily readings of newspapers, magazines, and books to people throughout Western New York who are blind or have a print disability. Please stay with us. Our reading about phone news will be coming up in just a couple minutes. Our phone number here is 716-821-5555 for you to contact us with any comments, suggestions, or any questions you may have. And as always, as I mentioned, stay with us. Our reading about Buffalo News coming up now.
The following program is intended for listeners who are blind, have low vision, or another print